Varsity Club, how are you guys doing? It is that time of year again. NBA 2K20 has dropped, and it's time to do what we do best, a MyLeague Expansion series. I'm happy to let you guys know the official name that we're going to rock with this year, the Honolulu Surf. We went back and forth. We had poll after poll. I was looking about Honolulu. I was looking at Maui. I was looking at St. Louis. I was looking at Nashville. I looked everywhere, but I settled on Honolulu Surf. I'll show you guys the logo here in a second, but I think this is one of the better teams we've created by far. If you guys are excited for this series, make sure you guys subscribe, make sure you guys hit that like button, and tell your friends. Share it with your friends. It helps me out a ton. But let's kick it off. Expansion draft is here. There is going to be a second team. St. Louis Spirits will be the team that ultimately accompany us in here. This is an 8-person protected expansion draft, which is typically the normal setting. There's some really good talent here, though. Look at this. Millsap, I mean, he's 34. I get why they didn't protect him. Steven Adams, I feel like, is always there. He was one of the guys we had in our first series of the Alaska Explorers. Tristan Thompson, Iguodala, Marcus Morris. There's some pretty talented players here. Tim Hardaway Jr., Malik Beasley. Malik Beasley out here? Are you kidding me? Wait a sec. Michael Porter Jr. is in this list? I get that he's injury prone and has all those issues, but don't really put Michael Porter Jr. in here? Okay, we're not going to select him first overall, but I got a feeling we're going to try to get him here in the second or third round for sure. All right, look, I'm ready to make my first pick. There's a lot of different ways I can go here. I don't want to load up my team with a crazy salary cap. So guys like Millsap, Steven Adams, Otto Porter are not exactly on my radar, but a guy that I just talked about that I think will be 100% worthy of this is Malik Beasley. I believe in him. I think he can get the job done. He'll be a good shooting guard from day one. Malik Beasley, you're our first official player off the board. Now, I'm also realizing that I'm an absolute idiot because I took Malik Beasley. I actually cannot get Michael Porter Jr. because that removes all the Denver players from the board. So, interesting strat, but still, I think Beasley's a good pick. He's going to be a little bit more healthy. He's a little bit more dynamic. I think he'll still be a really strong player for our team. Up next, I want to get our point guard of the future. I want a guy that can play a little bit on the outside, but can also be a lockdown defender, and that is Dejounte Murray. So our second pick officially is coming out of San Antonio. Welcome, Mr. Murray. A lot of how I build my team is about athleticism, getting up and down the floor very quickly, and being able to shoot the outside shot. The guy that I want to go with that'll be athletic and can move up and down the floor is Jordan Bell, formerly of Minnesota. Now he's coming to Honolulu. Even though I said earlier I wasn't going to take a center that had a huge contract or a guy that had a huge contract, I'm thinking a little bit differently about this one. Steven Adams, I'm going to go ahead and take him at $25 million a year. That's a whole lot of money. But if I can trade him and parlay him into draft picks or some other younger talent, I'm here for it. Last pick that I'll show you guys before I finish out the roster and then show you guys the final product is Seth Curry. Keeping with my trend of people that can shoot threes really well and get up and down the floor. Welcome, Mr. Seth Curry. So here's what our starting lineup and our overall roster is going to look like right now. Could there be some adjustments? Absolutely, possibly. But you got Murray, you have Malik Beasley, you have DeAndre Membry, Christian Wood is our starting power forward, Steven Adams is our starting center. It's a young, athletic lineup that needs some work, but it's not overly bad. We have Wesley Matthews, Robert Williams, Seth Curry, Jordan Bell, Rodney McGruder, Ty Jerome, Dylan Windler, Admiral Schofield, Tony Bradley. I mean, that is a pretty solid lineup coming out of an expansion draft. Compare it here in a second to the other team in the league, but also look at those jerseys. Kind of fire if you ask me. I'm really excited though about getting Windler and getting Ty Jerome along with Schofield. 3 very young players with a lot of upside, a lot of potential. We have them under contract for a couple of years. Some work to be done there for sure. To compare that with what St. Louis ended up going with, they got Dwight Howard, Otto Porter, Serge Ibaka, Goran Dragic, Marcus Morris Sr. You can tell that they went after a different strategy, right? A lot of their guys are a little bit older with the exception of Otto Porter. They also have some big contracts there, but we'll see how that plays out for them. They have Evan Fournier, Jaleel Okafor, Malik Monk. Malik Monk, I actually was so close to getting, but he went a pick before I wanted to actually take him. They have Courage, they have TJ McConnell, Jerebko, Spellman, Anthony Simmons, and Grayson Allen. So their roster, I don't know, it's pretty solid. What do you guys think it is in comparison to ours? I think we did pretty well. So the first new thing I want to show you guys is the arena. I think I did a pretty good job. You might make some adjustments over time. I don't know what to exactly put on the sidelines. You guys tell me what should be putting by the bench. Should I put my own Twitter handle? Should I put something else? Do we have a mantra that we use? I don't want to use like hashtag surfs up. So let's come up with something more clever than hashtag surfs up, and we'll put that on one of the sidelines, and we'll figure out what the other one is. Leave me a comment down below and tell me. We'll figure that out. But again, here's a quick look. We have Honolulu on the top. If we go down, we have the surf on the other baseline. As you can tell, we brought back a lot of the sideline banners we're going to be having with no Dwight Powell slander allowed. I think the logo in the middle is pretty fantastic. I really love kind of that. What I did with this is I found a really cool logo. I sort of manipulated it, changed the colors, added some crazy text to it. We just put Honolulu basketball on there. We could have put surf, but it didn't really fill out enough. So I thought Honolulu basketball, it's about the culture, it's about the environment we're creating, the community we're creating. So I figured we would rock with that one. And the big thing all of you guys have been wanting to see and critique on is the actual jerseys we're rocking. As you can tell, there's sort of like a flower pattern that's native to Hawaii that is literally listed on the jerseys. I think it looks pretty good. I'm really happy with that. The away uniform, we're dealing with sort of like a reddish, sort of like red-orangish color. Again, get the faint hint of the flowers on there. Truth be told, I actually found a jersey combo really similar to this that I was inspired by, and I tried to recreate it. So a big shout out to the original creator. The alternate uniform rocks sort of like that light-ish blue color that we have. Again, you can see the logo just barely shown on the shorts there. Overall, I'm really happy with it, but let me know what you think of the jerseys in their entirety down below. And if you have an idea for an alternate jersey or a custom jersey we could also rock during the season, let me know down below. Something I want to do real quick is just run a quick little scrimmage, see how my actual roster pans out, because obviously how they look versus how they actually play could be two different things. And okay, I see you hitting that shot up top. There's actually a little bit of a glitch with the names in the back of the jerseys. We'll fix that before the actual first game, but that was also part of the reason why I wanted to go ahead and do some of that, because as you can tell, the names are looking pretty rough. Feel a little pick and roll action. We've been messing around. See what Murray's got here. Murray turning the corner, going up. Easy. I'm gonna like him a lot. He's gonna be really good for us. And I don't want you guys to think that the Steven Adams trade talk is me just thinking he's a bad player. Steven Adams is a great player. I just don't have room for him, I think, on this roster when I've got a lot of young talent I'm trying to develop. So that means that if we can turn Steven Adams into some young talent or a draft pick that'll be pretty incredible, then I'm honestly here for it. I think one thing I want to talk about too is that we have a draft class that we're loading up, but the problem is that draft class isn't quite ready. So in the next couple of episodes, I'll give you guys a better deep dive on what the draft class is looking like. Nice little pass to break down to Robert Williams. I think Williams could actually be a kind of an 8 and 10 guy for us off the bench. And honestly, it's going to be up to him in terms of what he does once we actually trade Steven Adams. But I think before we trade him, he's going to be a solid guy off the bench for us for sure. That was a good play there by Jordan Bell. Well, there we go. Nice finish. Okay, I think we got a good feel for our team. Let's go ahead and take care of business now. I know we talked about Steven Adams as well, and he's honestly not really a major part of this franchise going forward. But I want to know from you guys, who should I be looking to trade him for? What is a good value trade? I'm going to just flip through some trades that are available here. I kind of looked at a lot of these, and most of them weren't really all that intriguing. They either wanted Steven Adams and Admiral Schofield, or they threw in a different random player. There is one trade, though, that I think caught my interest when I looked through these. It was for Nasir Little. So it was Steven Adams and Admiral Schofield for Nasir Little, who has a better driving dunk, but he's a worse shooter than what Schofield actually is. I would be taking on Ken Bazemore's 1 year, $20 million contract. That's not a huge deal because at 1 year, $20 million, it'll fall off after the season. I probably wouldn't resign him. We'd be good to go at that point. The only other trade here is for Rui Hachimura, which again, similar type player to Membry, but I think Membry's actually a better shooter than him. So we could go after Little, we could go after Hachimura. I don't really know which one would be the move, if any of these guys really be the move here, but ultimately, if you have a really cool trade idea for Steven Adams, tell me in the comments because I don't really know. The young team we've assembled is pretty good, and I'm really happy with them so far. There's some things that we'll improve on over time, some trades we have to make, and you know what? I think speaking of trades, there's probably one last thing I should do before I end this episode. What better way to end this episode than a trade for the man, the myth, the legend himself, Dwight Powell, aka No Dwight Powell Slander. Welcome, Honolulu Surf.